Alright, so on some of the tunes, since I got it from a nap, I edited the one from before my nap, but I did give in and edit them a little more intensely, 2 pages at a time. I did find a workflow to make that work, but I don't want that to become a habit because more time editing takes away from my practice time. This is mostly for me, and if I look back, I do want to be able to see the sheet music, but not at the expense of the stress of trying to edit a bunch of this, because there are many more projects I'd like to work on. This one is not 12 pages long, like most lessons have had a lot of pages. I think we've only got 7, so let's see how dense it is. Okay, we'll go double treble, so I'm actually catching the clefs this time. Being overly cautious. Nope. That's pretty straightforward. Whoops, I missed that. Yeah, I got distracted because I want to make a comment. Like, I hate that. I hate that figure, and that happens so much in accompaniments, and it's something I really need to work on. I've gotten a lot better at being able to have some comfortability with stride in my left hand. I'm not as good at jumps in my right hand, and I'm certainly bad at jumps in both hands. Something about tracing my spatial awareness for both hands throws me off. And it's not a good idea to look down and I'll lose my place. It's a mess. I really hate that, but it's in a lot of accompaniments. Finally, that page turn. Oh, we've got a whole piano interlude, so this is solo me. Not too bad though. And then that jump. I'm curious about the tempo at the end of this. That's a really easy figure. Happy to see so much repeated material. Yeah. Yeah. Now, octave. Very, very repetitive, but that's great. Oh, that's interesting. Maybe that is the tempo. This is about the tempo it feels comfortable at. Like musically, it feels appropriate there. Really? Oh. D. And that's 8v8 all the way through. It's interesting. And that's going to be really quiet. That'll probably be an una corda situation. The avowed classical pianist would hate. People always argue, the una corda pedal's not for playing quietly. It's for a change of timbre. It's true enough, but it's very functionally useful to use it specifically to get a little quieter. I find it very useful in a lot of choral accompaniment situations. So let's look at this tempo. Now, one of the things you have to keep in mind about tempos, when I practice these accompaniments, I try to leave myself a lot of wiggle room above and below the marked tempo, because just because that's what it says on the page doesn't mean that's the tempo the choir director is going to decide on, and the tempo they're going to go at. It's the same thing with any sort of phrasing, retards and stuff. I always practice my retards full tempo, because there are directors who maybe they were practicing with a track or something, whatever. They just blaze straight through all of them. They don't follow any of them. So if there's something where you're slowing down to make a musical retard and you can't play it at tempo, you're going to be in trouble. Anyway, let's check the tempo. Less lecturing. Okay, it's about where I thought it was. It's a little hotter than I was thinking. Yeah. That octave change, okay. But yeah, boom. And then that. And so on. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, Nari Soul made a nice comment about that in one video, just in passing, about tempos of what really matters. Like, you can look at something and it looks pretty easy, but then it's like you find out the tempo is something ludicrous, and you're like, oh, now that's a problem. Now I really need to practice. It's always tempo. Okay, I'm going to move on from here.